Hello, children. Again, with a new topic that is Civics, chapter number 8 Rural Livelihoods, lecture number 1 by Bhavna Kaushik. So, a new topic is Rural Livelihoods. Now, in this chapter, we are going to study about livelihoods. Livelihoods means how a person earns a living, and rural means villages. Before these chapters, we had already studied about rural administration. We had already studied about the Panchayati Raj. Hope you know the meaning of rural now. It means villages. Like now, how the people living in the villages, they earn their livelihoods. So now in this mind map, you can see that there are certain things written over here. Now we are going to cover in this chapter cattle rearing, fishing, working on daily wages as agricultural laborers, carpentry, blacksmithery, pottery, shoe mending, hair cutting, bicycle repairing, etc. We will also cover farming, grocery, vegetable selling. All these things are being connected with one topic, that is rural livelihoods. So we are going to understand one by one each topic. Types of rural livelihoods, study by 1. Now, according to the census of 2011, out of 121 crore Indians, 83.3 crore live in rural areas. And the people living in the rural areas are engaged mainly in agriculture and the allied occupations. Now, the people who are living in the rural areas, they are having only one thing to earn the living, that is agriculture and some allied occupations. Allied occupations means some small occupations which they can adopt to earn their living. And the rural economy plays an important role in the national development. Therefore, it is necessary to study about the rural livelihoods. Now, it is very important for the person to earn the livelihood because important things like needs, which we can say that the need of a person is food, shelter and clothing. And to earn food, shelter and clothing, to get food and to live in the shelter and to get clothing, one should have money. So from where the money will come, that only we are going to study, that how the people who live in the villages, they earn their living, how they all cover all these things with the help of the money, from where they are getting the money. Now these big farmers are small in numbers, but they are having the large land holdings. They are small in numbers, but they have a large land holding, and they also hire the agricultural laborers to work for them. They also hire some workers or the laborers to work for them. They also give money to the small farmers, but they charge high interest rates. If the farmer is borrowing the money from them, or if they are asking the money from them, they give the money, but they charge high interest on them, on the rate, on the money which they have given to the farmer. They also own small agro-based industries. They are also having small agro-based industries where the work is going on related with the agriculture. They also have to run these small businesses such as flour mill, where the people are engaged in some of the work, and they also had to run the shops related with the fertilizers and seeds. So all these things, they are having their own. Who? The big farmers. They also rent out their farm equipments. Now whatever the equipments are needed for farming, they generally rent them. They generally give them on rent, such as threshers and tractors, to small farmers. Now next topic is small farmers. As I have told you that the farmers have been further subdivided into 3 categories: big farmers, small farmers and landless farmers. Now the second subtype is small farmers. As the name suggests, small farmers. So these are farmers which they have their own small farmlands, and they sow seeds, grow and harvest crops by their own selves, or sometimes if they also hire laborers if they require. Now 80% of the farmers belong to this category. They have to depend on the other sources of income also. They cannot depend only on agriculture, because agriculture is seasonal. So they had to depend on other sources also, such as dairy, poultry business, as the income from farming may not be enough to sustain their families. They rear the milk cattle, such as cow and buffaloes, and sell milk to the nearby dairies. Those who are engaged in the poultry farming sell the chicken in the nearby towns. Now, most of these farmers, they have to depend upon the moneylender. Now, most of these farmers, they have to depend on the moneylender also, because as they borrow the money from the moneylender only. for buying the seeds and fertilizers. Now, once they have borrowed the money, they had to pay the money also back to the money lender. So they are all totally dependent on the crops. But what happens if the crops fail? Then these farmers are unable to repay the debt, and if they feel that they can take some more time from the landlord to pay the debt, but if the crops they fail again, then what happened? They get overburdened with debt, and it may lead to them to an extreme step of suicide. They can commit suicide also. Landless farmers. Now the villagers who work on the farmlands on daily wages are known as landless farmers. Now the villagers, those who are working on the farmlands on the daily wages, like daily they are getting the money for their work. Okay, so these type of farmers are landless farmers or agricultural laborers. Now these type of farmers, they make up almost 2/5 of the rural population in India. Now most of these farmers, they do not have any land of their own. They do not have the land of their own. Some of them own a farmland, but it is too small to sustain their family. Some of them having the land, but it is too small that they cannot even sustain their families. They cannot even run their family. The landless farmers do not get work throughout the year. Now this landless farmer, he do not get the work throughout the year, as the farming is seasonal, and in India generates employment on a seasonal basis. Now many landless farmers, they go to nearby cities. Now when the lean period is there, when they are not having any farming, then that time they move towards the cities. Why? Because they had to run the family, they had to earn livelihood. So from where they will get the money? So for that time they go to the cities for some work. However, due to various employment generation programs, now the government has taken step for these type of farmers when they are not having work. So government have started some program like National Rural Employment Program, NREP. It was launched by the government. These type of programs, they generally give the work to the farmers when they are not having the farming in their village. That time they get work by the government schemes, such as they get work as construction of roads, dams, buildings, etc. You can see the 3 pictures over here. The 3 pictures are visible to you, and these 3 pictures are showing you the life of a village. Next is study by 2, the service providers. Now, who are the service providers? Now, there are certain people who are living in the villages who provide services to the other villagers also. They include like carpenters, blacksmiths, barbers, potters, teachers, etc. They also have provision stores. Provision stores are like grocery stores, medical stores, cloth shops, small eateries in big villages. So they can also have these type of stores from where they can earn their living. So they also provide services to the other people. Okay, like carpenters are there, blacksmiths are there. So these type of people, when they are going to work, they will not work alone. They are going to keep some other people also with them to work. So in this way, they are providing service to the other people also. Here you can see some 4 pictures images are there. In these 4 images, in these 4 pictures, you can see that the work is going on. Some of them are they're busy with the sugar cane. Some of them are making pots. Then bullock cart is going, and then other one is making the mask and all. So this way they are having the different types of works and the services from which they get the work and the money also. Now, the people who are living in the coastal areas, they have only one occupation, that is what? Fishing. Now, fishing is the main occupation of the people in the villages who are living in the coastal areas, and most of the fishermen they are having the small boats and other related equipments for the fishing. And some fishermen, they may own large catamarans which are fitted with motors. Catamarans are also a type of a boat, you can say a yacht type thing, which is having a motor and which can go deep in deep waters for the fishing. Here you can see the image of catamarans, the 4 images. Now the farmers, they have already produced the crops and all, and now the crops are being ready, and now the crops are ready to be sold in the market. So how they are going to sell the crops in the market? So now market prices of agricultural produce. Now when the farmers, they have cut the crops and the crops are ready to sell, so at the harvest season, the cutting of the crops is going, almost some of the crops are being cut also, and the festival is also being celebrated that time, like we celebrate Vaisakhi and Lohri. So this time they will not get attractive prices during this season. Okay, farmers are often forced. Now sometimes the farmers, they are forced to sell their produce at low prices. Why? Because they think, because there are certain middlemen who acts as a middleman between the wholesaler and the retailer, and then they try to get their share also in that. So they force the farmers to sell the things at the low prices also. If so, they that time the farmers had to sell the things at the lower prices also, and here the farmer is at loss. Okay, lack of proper storage facilities. Now, if the farmer is not having the proper storage facility, then where they are going to store their crops? They will not have the proper place to store the crops, and this is also one of the reason why the farmers have to sell the farm produce at the lower prices. Seeing all these things, the government tried to help these farmers. Now, how government tries to help farmers? By offering minimum support price, which is MSP, to farm produce. Now the farmers are going to sell their crops at this MSP, whatever the price the government has decided. During harvest season, Food Corporation of India buys the farm produce at MSP. Now, when the harvest season is going and the farmers are not getting good prices or the attractive prices, that time FCI, Food Corporation of India, buys the farm produce at MSP and keeps with it. And when the prices are good, that time they sold the things and they give the share to the farmers also. Hope the chapter is clear. Do read the chapter once again and stay home, stay safe, take care. Thank you.